This is Clevie from Steely and Clevie, and you're watching World Music Views.
So, Mr. Clevie from Steely and Clevie. First of all, tell World Music Views audience who you are, what important role you played in the genesis of dancehall music.
Well, yes, as my interviewer said, I'm Clevie Brown from the production duo Steely and Clevie. Steely and I had been working together from 1973. We started working together in 1973 when we came together to work on productions for Augustus Pablo. We worked on Hugh Mundel's Africans Must Be Free album, and from there we saw that we had similar vision. When in the advent of drum machines and so on, it captured me when I heard Soja say from Bob Marley, and I started seeking out to find about that technology. Anyway, we started making dub plates together for Black Star sound system, and the sound that we got was recorded on cassette, but most persons weren't in agreement with that technology move until we heard King Jammys put out the Sling Thing Rhythm. We said, wow, somebody else has that vision. And we went to his place to check him out with a cassette that we did for the Black Star sound system. And he said, yeah, it sounds good. Come and link me up on the Sunday of that week. That was just after Sling Thing came out, about November of the year 1985. And Sling Thing, I believe, came out about October of that year. So we went to King Jammys and we laid Sweet Reggae Music, the track for Nitty Gritty, which went straight into the British charts. That cemented our view that what we were doing could work. And we formed a team there where we became the musicians for his production camp. So we made several songs that year to finish up that year, and all the songs became hits, and we continued through the 80s that way, making tracks for King Jammys.
You mentioned something inside about the difference between dancehall and dancehall. Can you tell the difference and the spelling, the phonetic link between the two spellings?
Yeah, during that period of making tracks for King Jammys, we considered we were just making reggae music. We never gave it a name. But later on, being associated with music being played and accepted among the dancehall audience and played among the dancehall sound systems and so on, people gave it the name dancehall music. But as time went by, I considered it being music that was played and established in the dance halls, the place, but identifying that there was a rhythmic component being created, which was different from the one-drop reggae and so on. We moved on to remove the space and just join the two words together to become dance hall music as one word, Dancehall, one word.
So what do you say to people who find it difficult to call the modern dancehall with the drum and bass, the electric infusion? What do you think about those people who find it difficult to call that dancehall versus reggae?
Well, for me, as a pioneer of the genre that had a specific beat and pattern, or in some cases where it might not be, the beat being different, there was an attitude that gave it a different feel. Like a song like No 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 Don Pen, for instance. The feel was a little more aggressive in the mix, the way the music was mixed, that it fell perfectly into the dancehall genre. And although it wasn't a poof, poof, paf, poof, poof, paf beat, that became a definitive pattern that identified dancehall. I realized that you can mix reggae music with an attitude that made it acceptable as dancehall. But as time went by, we introduced new patterns as well, with the giggy beat, for instance, with Baby with Mama and those things, and that had the attitude necessary for it to fit into dancehall music. So dancehall, I would say, is also an attitude.
Yeah, this is exciting stuff. You made a rhythm that is known as the Dem Bow Rhythm, made popular by Shabaranks. And that rhythm morphed into what is now reggaeton. Can you just tell me how you made that beat? What was the idea behind making that beat that eventually turned into a whole genre? And I guess you'll speak on behalf of your partner, Steely.
Yes, definitely. Steely came to the studio one day, and somehow we seemed to connect telepathically or something, because Steely came to the studio with a vision to make something new. I also had a dream to make something new instead of the same boof, boof, baff, which had its advent in the 70s, not 70s, sorry, in the 80s, down at King Jammy's, when we made Punan. That was a new beat introduced. But we wanted something more. We needed to move on again and create new things, so the music wouldn't be stagnant in any way. And I had this beat in mind that I wanted to introduce, and Steely was hearing some phrases in his head, and the two of them connected. So I say, you know what, I'm going to sample my own sounds. So there weren't sounds that were readily available. But I had a SP1200 drum machine that had limited sampling space and so on. But I went in the studio, took my own snare drums, kick drum and whatever, and just laid down that beat that became Fish Market is the actual name of the rhythm. And it needed something more after the beat. I was like, it had a little ghost note that was very important for the feel of the music. Instead of the doof, katoof, kat, it had doof, katoof, kat, a silent, almost silent note that it helped to create feel. And Steely played on the first and third beat of the bar, the boom, 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 so that became a very important thing. We use a B flat note. And we have recognized that some samples have been taken with the use of, whether it's played over or not, that B flat note was there. It's replicating the pattern and stuff. But I went in I'd always like to add live elements. We never, throughout the period at Jammies and so on, we never actually sequenced everything. We felt that the soul of the person creating it should be captured as well. So Steely would play live and not sequences, bass parts or keyboard parts. It was all live, bringing out the soul of the creator in the music. So I went in the recording room at Mixing Lab Studio, it was in 1989, and looked around, and he had like a new drum kit. The studio was fairly new at the time. And I noticed a pair of timbales sitting in the corner, which nobody was using. And I'm a drummer. I'm a trained drummer. I'm not just a programmer. I say, you know what, I'm going to try this. And I set up the timbales and said, Steely, record. And I started playing that pattern. The timbale fills, which became a very important part of the feel of the music, the resultant feel. And
did you know it was gonna hit at that point? Did you have it in your head? Oh, this is it.
Yeah, Steely especially was capable of identifying hits. When Steely kicked off his shoes and run round the studio, I could tell, he never ever missed that was going to be a hit. Steely had that ability. He did that very thing. Kick off his shoes, went barefooted, run around the room, fall on the floor, roll on the floor. And never ever missed that. That was Steely.
Wow. And that rhythm influenced countless of other songs. How do you feel about its influence on pop culture, on Latin culture, on all these big superstars that have evolved out of your original creation?
I don't really think about that. I just create. And I will continue to create. I try not to look at being influenced by anything else. That's my personal view on music, where I just create what I feel. I don't want to express my thoughts on that right now for certain reasons. But I'm always happy to be able to inspire people. Actually, when I inspire, it says to me that what I've done is accepted. And
how do you feel about the new producers in Jamaica? Can you identify one or two that are coming up in your vein, and any one of them that you mentor? McGregor told me that you were his mentor earlier on, and he took some of your ideas to work with Shensia on the song Run Run. Anybody else who you mentor, who you're fascinated with coming up?
Earlier today at this conference, Sean Isla had mentioned that we had mentored him, which is true. But I am a bit not happy with what I think is a commercial value of what's coming out of Jamaica now. I find that my old recordings are still being sampled. Last year I cleared a sample with Nicki Minaj. I'm not really seeing the interest as much from the hip hop artists and so in the trap dancehall, for instance. When that happens, then I would say, okay, that's good that the world is connected with it. But I know the value of old school dancehall. I know the value. And I don't want to discuss any further on that.
That's fine. We're gonna have a part 2 on World Music Views when everything is settled. This is Clevie from Steely and Clevie. Big up yourself, my boss. Thank you so much. This is World Music Views.